All right. Good day, sir.
Good day to you.
That was like an ending. People are going to be confused. They're going to think we just ended a podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Parking Lot Podcast.
It is a parking lot podcast. I hope the sound is okay.
I don't care.
It's probably not going to be great. That's okay.
Can it be any worse than our normal setup?
Yes.
I have a feeling this is going to surprise you, and you're like, oh my God, we should do all the podcasts in the truck in the parking lot.
Maybe. And I've had guests who are in their car and
Yeah.
it turned out okay.
It's fine. We're not talking like the old CFCN or the old CTV where they have like a booth and those days are gone. We record from a telephone booth and people listen to it.
I suppose. It's eerie going in one of those booths, though.
Yeah. In a telephone booth? Yeah, because people pee in them now.
A telephone booth.
You mean like a sound booth?
Yeah.
Like that one at the music center?
My ears always go wonky. Well, I've gone on to a few radio shows.
It's true. You're a big deal.
Used to be.
You used to be a big deal?
Well, maybe for radio.
I think you're still a pretty big deal. And I think a recent award ceremony confirms that.
Maybe.
You're listening to an award-winning podcast. I can say that now.
It's not an award-winning podcast. I'm an award winner.
The participants within the podcast have won awards. We're not going to say who. This is like the Ryan Gosling bit where he tells Russell Crowe that, how does he word it? Basically, they have like 2 Oscars between them. Ryan Gosling hasn't won any, but he considers that he positions it as they're both, Oscar winners. With the 2 that they share between them. Quite funny. It's a good bit.
Actually, Maya was saying, I think it was Maya who was talking about, was it Robert Downey Jr. who won an award? I don't know if it was has he won an Oscar?
Yeah, he just won for Oppenheimer, I think. And he won when he was younger too, I think.
He was in that?
In Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
He's
know
kind of a big deal in Oppenheimer.
I didn't know that. I gotta watch that movie. I really
I'll watch
do.
it with you.
Well, because I guess he won, and Maya's like, you gotta do what he did. Because I guess his wife told him somebody else, Matt Damon, was gonna get it.
Oh, I've seen that one. That's a great spin.
So he didn't.
Yeah, I want to shout out to my wife Susan, who told me not to bother writing a speech today because Matt Damon was going to win. That's really helpful. Thank you. It's a great speech. Actually, it's a fine one.
So when I was going to get my award, Maya was like, "You gotta do that."
Yeah, that's a good bit. Well, you didn't, but you are most definitely an award recipient. And what else did you win?
Did we talk about? Well, so
no, we
haven't talked about this. Oh, okay.
We've talked personally, but not to our listener.
So I won Psychologist of the Year for Alberta.
Yep. So by default, we are both award winners because we work together.
Yep. I thanked you.
You did thank me very nicely. It was very sweet of you.
And then I also said something stupid about doing experimental psychological experiments on the children.
Yeah, that joke didn't hit well. Didn't land in that room. Would have been funnier in a bunch of teachers. They were like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." A bunch of psychologists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't fly. You recovered well from it though. You recovered well, but yeah. And then you got your surprise of the night.
White hat. I was white hatted.
For those that don't know what that means, Calgary has a tradition for the past 50 plus years of visiting dignitaries or celebrities or people of note. They will have a ceremony whereby they give them a white hat, signifying them a representative of the city.
So like Princess Diana's got a white hatted, Oprah, Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Pretty sure Buckshot got one.
I met Buckshot once.
Buckshot's passed away, I think.
Well, yeah.
Chris Christopherson passed away recently.
I don't know who that is.
There's been a few people dropping.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of something dropping, I didn't want to say it. Oh, Maya was so sad today. She was so sad. And she was just in tears. And I guess there's a police officer who was in tears. And so that made her even more teary. So on driving she had photos this morning for Ringette, and the bridge over the reservoir was pretty much stopped. So, but when she started going, she was in the whatever lane that she could see the best. She thought it was a possum or something that got hit, but it was a dog. So she was so sad. And then she was just watching as she was driving by. There was a police officer who was going to pick up the dog to take it off the road, and he was.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that's so sad.
It is a tough one.
It's amazing our dogs have never been hit.
Yeah, I felt bad when I made Sunny squeak last night when I tried to pick her up.
It was so sad.
But she immediately sensed the opportunity and completely got a ton of scritches and hugs and milked it. For, like, incident to response, far in her favor. Far in her favor. And it wasn't like I was trying to hurt her. I was trying to pick her up to give her a kiss, and I just grabbed her arm, pinched her.
Yeah.
So welcome to the first in what is hopefully not a series of parking lot podcasts. We are sitting outside of a rink in the northeast quadrant of our fair city.
Exact opposite of where we live.
Yeah, 100%. 100% couldn't get any further. Oh, that lady's going to hit that truck. Wow. So yeah, what we're going to do today is a little different. We're just going to talk about what we see in the parking lot.
I was going to say, I'm going to be so distracted.
It is hilarious to watch. There's been a few people coming in hot. And, but yeah. So for today's topic, I don't know if I really have a question, but there's been a couple of conversations we've had and a couple of incidents that we've had lately that, and it's not a new topic. You and I get on about parents kind of getting in the way, and we kind of jokingly, not jokingly talk about parents being the problem sometimes, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not to heap on parents. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk to parents, but one story you told after a presentation earlier still is clanging around my melon, and it's astonishing to me, where someone told you that a university in Calgary, we have two of them, held a parent orientation session to tell parents how they are to act and what they can expect from the university, which, if that's not a summary statement for the core problem with parenting and kids these days, I don't know what it is. Like, it might be one of the most damning examples I've ever seen, that a university had to pull parents in to explain to them things like, you can't call us if your child forgot their lunch. Adult child forgot their lunch, or you can't call us if they fail a test. Like, it is astonishing to me. And this was on top of a couple of incidents where conversations with parents have occurred, as they do. And just the over parenting seems to be almost out of control, in that my child is in university now, right? She's not of majority age. She's not 18 yet, but she's in university. So we're approaching a lot of our relationship with her now, and it's not something we planned, but we are approaching it a lot as she's an adult. She needs to learn how to adult. She needs to learn how to interact with the world. And
have you changed? Because I'm interacting with her the exact same way I always have.
No, it's not that there's a fundamental change, but I think the light has shone a little bit more on it. Like, part of my conversations with her around how she needs to embrace the fact that she is now an adult, right? Yeah. Like, kid, if like she came home a couple weeks ago, stressed, and said I couldn't get out of the car. I was freaking out. All right, cool. What do you want to do today? Like, well, how do you want to deal with this? Right. And she's like, I don't think I can go today. Okay. Is there anything you're going to miss? No. Okay. It's your decision then. Right. Nobody's going to call from the university to give us an absence report. So if you feel you need a mental health break, and she did, she was busy and stressed, have a mental health break. So that's more what I mean, like treating her in that way, because she's still getting used to the fact that she operates in a frameless way now. She doesn't have as many guardrails, right? But to me, it was in stark contrast to a conversation that we had earlier, where I'm not sure I endeared myself to any people, but as they were kicking off the season, they always have a parent meeting on the team. Cool. And a lot of times it's just basic stuff. This is the philosophy of the team. This is what we want. But then a large portion of the conversation focused on expectations for parents. And I was getting kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
right? In that, and I finally put my hand up, and this is where I don't think I endeared myself to some people, but I'm like, look, like, if you got a problem with my kid, like not communicating or not telling you what to do, or like telling you what they're going to do in terms of take it up with them. I'm like, I'll help you if you're not getting the response you want, but I'm not the first phone call. Well, we just feel that the parents need to be involved, so you text the coaches. I'm like, nope, like not going to happen. Like I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to do that. But that and your story, and again, I'm rambling here, but it kind of shines a light on. So if I was to put a question to all of this, it's two. It's why are parents doing this so much lately? Do you think? Maybe there's three.
Hmm.
How can you self-assess that you are one of those parents? And then what steps do we need to start taking to stop doing this? Like, I'm so I'll leave it there and I'll let you kind of dissect it however you want. But those are the three questions that I have.
Well, and I think we've talked a lot about this in various forms.
Yeah.
Really, it's all we ever talk about anymore. But it is quite ridiculous to think about this. I mean, we just got to stop. There's Bob Newhart. I
Oh yeah.
think I've talked about
Yeah.
this, the Bob Newhart episode where he's like, stop it, just stop it. The woman's like, I'm scared that I'm going to be buried in a box. Well, stop it,
Yeah.
just stop it. Are you some kind of nut? Just stop it. But, and so I dubbed it just saying, because the mom's like, oh, I'm worried about my daughter. Well, just stop it. But we got to stop monitoring, stop supervising, stop overseeing everything. Truly, we just need to stop. Let them go play. Let them fight with their sibling. Let them do their thing. You do not ever need to step in. You do not need to text them. You do not need to track them. We should make a Dr. Seuss
Yeah.
book, it's not in a house, not with a mouse, not whatever. But yeah, we just need to stop. Let them be independent. Let them go play unstructured. Get off their case. Don't go into power school. I've talked about this. Don't go into D2L and see what their homework is. Let them walk to school by themselves. And it was interesting because at that same night, where the parents were telling me that they went to this parent orientation and they saw, but another group of parents in the same, audience were talking about pushing back against me. Yeah, but what if my child is the one who, whatever, gets hit by a car? Or what if my child? Well, they got to learn to be, things happen in the world, right?
Mhm.
Like someone that I work with very closely just passed away unexpectedly. And I mean, we can't always but we're more likely to be in a car accident, a fatal car accident ourselves with our children than anything really bad happening to our children.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's it. And I would just say, to create a checklist, I probably should. If you track your child on your phone, you're over monitoring, you're over supervising. If you're
Hang on. How are they supposed to know what their child's doing every minute of the day? That's my question. And I mean, I want to be careful because we have friends that we know that do this, and
Yeah.
this isn't meant to offend anybody, but um, stop it.
Yeah.
Like, just stop it. Like, I got no idea what my children are doing right now, and I'm not bragging. It's that I trust them that they're doing what they need to be doing, and if they need me, they can find me. Right? I have a general idea of what they're up to, but I don't care beyond that.
And here's the thing, like we've never given curfews, we've never laid down the law like that, right? And then, oh my gosh, it's 9:03. You were supposed to be home at 9 o'clock. Like,
Mhm.
but our girls are responsible enough to be like, oh, it's getting late. I should get going, right? Like
Yeah.
they're making those wise choices and decisions themselves, which I think is awesome. If we were on their case, they would always be wanting to push that stuff. But truly, like I think that that's a big one. If we're texting our kids through the day, stop it. There's no reason why, and it's hard because I think there's younger parents who maybe did have a phone when they were little because,
Yeah.
like these Gen Zs, they were born in 96. It's coming up to 30 years,
Yeah.
right? Because I was going to say, I used to always say, if did you text your parents throughout the day? But for some parents, maybe they did.
Yeah.
But that's not normal. That's not a normal thing. Like
Yeah.
I
Go let them live their life.
would see my parents, maybe I would see my parents before they went to work in the morning. When I got older, I was the one leaving super early. So I did always see them. But maybe I saw them and then I for sure didn't see them again until I was coming home when the streetlights came on. I had
Yeah.
no idea where they were. They had no idea where I was in between.
Yeah.
And I know it's different now. Like I had hoped our kids would have that, but they didn't have friends who could do that. And so, like
Yeah.
I was always, they're good. They will just go over to somebody's, like Willa will just go over to somebody's house after school. She wants to go hang
Mhm.
out, right?
And she's
And
good about telling us. Like she'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go here. Is that cool? Yeah, cool, man." The only time we'd say no is, "Wow, we got a thing. Like we got to do a thing." Right? That's the only time we usually say it's not possible.
but then she already knows and she just wouldn't go
Yeah, for the
anyways.
most part.
We've
Yeah,
never
it's
run
rare that they would say, "Oh yeah, I forgot we got the thing to do," because it's usually their thing. Um, because as they like to remind us, we don't socialize. We don't have friends. So maybe that's a different episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's interesting too, man. It's and I think part of it as well is this is more a recent one, and I went on a golf trip recently with a couple buddies, and we had a great time. But both of them, the second they wake up, turn on the news, both of them, and then sit there and get angry what they're watching on the news. And this was another part that I'm like, why does it matter? Why does it matter to you, right? And I asked one of them, I said, well, why does it matter? Like all you're doing is watching something that's making you upset. So why are you doing it? Well, I want to be informed. I'm like, informed about what? Like, what fundamentally are you going to do during your day any differently based on what you've just learned right now? Or what do you think you can do to change what it is that you're watching? Well, it's this and it's that. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Like, I get it, but you're angry after 40 minutes of watching this, and that sets the tone for the day. Like, I'll go so far as to say that was the other thing. That was starting to think there was a third thing. We had to do an anti-bullying
Oh,
presentation.
yes. Oh, this riles me up.
So I went as the parent that is most involved in our children's life and does these things because I love my wife and don't want to put her through it. I went.
Oh, that psychologist is lucky that I did not go.
Yes, yes. So, and I knew the second I was seeing the slides come up, I'm like, ooh, Caroline would be heated at that. But what they were basically saying was, it was annoying. Like she told a story about how it's the parents' responsibility to make sure that they're monitoring their kids online. Sure. Okay. I get that to a degree, for sure. You want to make sure you have an understanding. But then told a story about how it's important that parents don't allow electronics in the bedroom. All right, cool. Totally makes sense. I get it. And immediately followed it up with
So
how
I do agree with those two.
absolutely. But then immediately followed it up with a conversation around how she had failed at doing this herself and just gave up. Like literally, well, I failed that fight because, she asked me if she could take it in so she could listen to stories. And I said, yeah. And then once it's in, how do you get it out? And I'm like, you take it out. Like, why is this even a debate? Why are you not just doing something differently in terms of how you're going to get out of there, right? And so for me, it was interesting because it just it shows this duality of how parents treat kind of their interactions with their kids, which is we have to do everything we can to monitor everything. We have to be on top of it. But what do you do about phones? They're everywhere. And it's like, no, like you're setting yourself up in a manner that you're just simply not going to win this fight, no matter what you do. But that's not the truth. The truth is you've created the same problem that you're now over policing and wondering why you can't have an interaction with your kids. Take your kid's phone away. It's as simple as that. Like
Yeah.
our girls now do have phones, right? Like we're not,
Well, one does.
one does, one borrows one, right? But the rule for both is they're not going in your bedroom,
Yeah.
right? And you're not using them at night and you're not sleeping beside them. And that's an enforceable rule. And it's an easy rule to tax because if I'm going to bed and I count and there's not three phones where I can see them before I go to bed, well, it's going to be a tough morning the next morning, right? It's,
And they don't use them like at home in family meals and
yeah,
like family
yeah.
interactions. Like,
And that was another thing of the presentation was how, the other thing as well, and this is kind of off, but I'm going to say it anyways. They spent a considerable amount of time talking about how intent doesn't matter, it's impact. And that's what annoyed me because what it's essentially saying is you have to behave in a manner that accommodates how someone else is going to behave, and that's not it. Intent is impact is part of it, but intent is most definitely part of it. You can't say, I don't like how you said that, so therefore it's the wrong thing. No, that wasn't my intent. I said something and you're now unable to control your emotions or have a regulated conversation around what you're thinking. I shouldn't have to modify my behavior. But that is just another example of how parents are over parenting or over policing aspects of the children's. Let your kids figure it out. Like, the other thing is, none of what they said during the bullying presentation was actually bullying. None of the examples were bullying. And it's just all this to say, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but all this to say, it was just another example of parents creating problems and then reacting in a manner that makes it really difficult to manage those problems. Don't. Just don't. Like, we had an incident at school. I won't go into too many details about it, where it left Willow upset. And we were upset as well. Like, we weren't cool with this. This wasn't something that we're going to slide, but we asked her, how do you want us to deal with this? And a lot of times in situations like this, she'll be like, don't worry about it. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to cause problems. But she did say, can you reach out to the principal? And I'm going to reach out to them as well. Cool. No problem. So our interaction was very much at her request and was very respectful in that we're like, hey, this is how it happened as we understand it. We're looking for support. We're looking for your input and we're looking for support on how best to manage this. Not threatening, not this is on whatever. And you know what? She got more response and support than we got or even needed. They talked to her, they chatted with her about options. They did go off and try and figure out what was going on. I did get a response from the administrators later saying, hey, these are the steps we took with her, and these are the additional steps that we're taking. That's all I need to do. Awesome. Keep me posted. If there's a way to resolve it, let's do it. Right.
And they took those steps with her because she went and spoke with the principal.
Yes. So
herself.
she knew that we were supporting her. She knew that we were on her side, and she knew that we trusted her to go initiate this conversation. That's what we tried to do.
Yeah. And the thing with that one is true bullying. When we look at the definition of bullying, where it's repetitive, targeted at someone with malicious intent, right? Like that, there was intention. So, I don't take bullying lightly, and I don't use that word lightly, but this was the classic definition. I mean, there's a few things in there that you were talking about. One is that safetyism, right? It's like microaggression and, oh, you said something to offend me, therefore you are offensive, right? And so even though it was like, man, I was just like being nice, and just you took it the wrong way and misinterpreted it. And that's one of the big problems of the world, is that we are using this emotional reasoning, but our emotions are distorted. Our emotions are just, we've talked about this before too, right? They're easily misrepresented. Well, just look at kids who are freaking out over the cookie, right? Like, clearly, like, the emotional reasoning does not make sense because our emotions are not rational. That's not the rational part of our brain. And yet that is what society is promoting, and unfortunately psychologists do, but that's creating this safetyism. And so there's a great talk just with I think I've talked about it before, where he's talking about physical safety. Absolutely. We need to make sure our children are physically safe. And that's what, why we stepped in with Willow, just because there was physical safety issues. But ideologically, just because I support this idea and you don't, you support the opposite idea, that doesn't mean now all of a sudden we're offensive or bullies or anything, right? So ideologically we should be challenging each other. That's how you grow in critical thinking. And
absolutely. And people got to get really used to being uncomfortable. And that's the other thing, right? Safetyism is about trying to never have to deal with the uncomfortable parts of life. You need that to understand how you're going to manage it, and to understand how to work through it or discuss it with someone or address it in a healthy manner. Telling someone to modify how they're behaving and do better, or do better to your standards, what are you doing? Like, that's like, and it doesn't promote accountability, because in those instances where you have that conversation and you have the ability, like the opportunity to realize, oh yeah, I do see their perspective. Maybe I am overreacting. That's an opportunity for you and your kids to go, you know what, I'll try and be better. But to just simply say my way is the only way and I'm not having that conversation and you are wrong, well, you stunt your ability for healthy forward progression in your life. It's just as simple as that. And that's, to me, that is what we're seeing. We're seeing a lack of accountability. We're seeing a lack of ownership of your own responses and how you interact with the world. And parents are modeling this over and over and over again. So of course the kids are modeling it, like are doing it. Like there's nothing wrong with showing your kids I made a mistake. And this is how I'm going to own up to that mistake and do better next time. I've done it with my kids. Like I shouldn't have done that. Like I lost my cool. This is how I would have preferred to. I had handled it, but I didn't. So this is what I'm going to do next time to try and handle it better.
Yeah.
That's more healthy than, no, that's not right. Why would they ever say that? You can't say that to my kid. My kid is an angel. No, you know what? Sometimes your kid isn't an angel. Sometimes your kid is a dick.
I was actually just talking to a principal of a school 2 days ago and she was close to tears, just beside herself with, we're not that deep into school. And she's like, it's unbelievable how many altercations she's gotten into with parents already, just coming in and demanding because they're so vicious.
Yeah.
And she actually had to kick out a parent because the parent had come into the school and was screaming at other kids, not looking at her own kids' behaviors. And so, like it's just unbelievable. Or during ringette tryouts, one of the moms was just saying she was in the change rooms with kids and two parents were going at it and then screaming at the kids and swearing at the kids and at each other. And like, we're not modeling, even the open-mindedness. I mean, just sharing that, I think I talked about how I went to Georgia and I was talking with a few people, but this one gentleman in particular, we had a very lengthy car ride together and we got into politics and he's a Trump supporter. I am not a Trump supporter, but it was a fantastic conversation and we're both open-minded to each other's sides. And we actually agreed on, other than Trump, pretty much everything.
Right. Because life is about centrism. Life is about finding that common ground, but we don't do that enough anymore.
Right.
Absolutely not. So
if he was like, oh, you're a liberal, right? Or if I was like, oh, you're a Trump supporter, it would have shut down. It would have been a very terrible car ride, but it wasn't. We had a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
And I didn't agree with a lot because he's very, liberal with guns. But that's okay, right? Like, it's just, anyway. So I do think that that's a piece of it. And the fact that parents are even in there in the first place, that's disrupting their kids' ability to figure things out on their own.
Yeah. Comes back to the original point, which is just get out of the way. Let your kids live their life, guide them. Don't helicopter over them. Don't try and solve everything because really you're creating more problems. So just be there to help them build a life of their own.
Yeah. So I was talking with a mom not too long ago from a different part of the world. And, she was coming, her kid's totally dysregulated. And I was talking with the kid and it's really mom literally over his shoulder, watching him work. And the other day, literally erased his work and redid it herself, like some of the things herself, right?
Cool.
Like, that's just another example. So just watching, I would say, what to do next is watch yourself. What is it that you're doing? You're stepping in, right? Stepping into an opportunity for your kids to figure it out. If you are monitoring them or if you're, on the cell phone, you're checking their texts, checking, those are problems.
Yeah. All right. Bit of a ramble, but I think it kind of, it was what I wanted to cover in terms of just a reminder. Yeah. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at the opportunities where you can help your kid grow. Take a look at opportunities for you to grow yourself into a more trusting individual, both in your kids and the environment around them.
The only one thing that I will say is it's not your fault either, right? It's a society's fault. And so that's one piece because, like you were raised in the society and in this culture of safetyism.
It's your parents' fault. It's not your fault. No, but you're right? Like this all builds upon what we learned. What I think the point of it is, take a second to ask yourself, is this really how you want to be? right? And where is the opportunity for you to give your kids the chance to grow and for you to give yourself the chance to grow, and try and focus on that.
Yeah. Because I always say it's going to cost you more tomorrow than it is today.
100%.
So I want them to fail and be rejected and figure it out when they're still at home with you, not when they're 30 and now depressed
And feeling
anxious.
alone. And yeah.
And you don't want to have to go to a parent orientation when they're 18
Yeah,
in
that's
university talking about bringing their lunch to school.
Hard pass. All right.
See ya.
Good day.